I'm happily starting this conference with, few context. And since we are talking about cyber influence, I went to ask the Webster dictionary what is influence, and I got this answer: power of or capacity to cause an effect in indirect or intangible ways. And then I asked ChatGPT, and I must say it was much more concrete. Influence is the ability of an actor. He's not talking about human beings necessarily, to alter how other things feel or act without pressure by shaping the information, incentive, and context they experience. So it's much more about the actionability, and I think it says a lot. And another quote that was a few months ago was of Sam Altman, that also gave a good context. He said, he tweeted, "I never took the dead internet theory that seriously, but it seems that there are really a lot of LLM-run Twitter accounts now," and I think he's definitely right, and we will see some of those accounts later. And this is an emerging field, an emerging industry, actually stated as the #1 world technical problem in the World Economic Forum in the last 2 or 3 years. Estimated to that enterprise will spend over $500 billion annually to combat disinformation, and with losses that are close to $80 billion per year. And those numbers are a few years back, so I think that they are much larger nowadays. And you can see the effect of disinformation all over. You can see an example of Lockheed Martin that lost almost 6% in one day, when a channel of bots that usually echoed accurate information about it in one day flipped and planted misinformation that led to that drop. Someone did a lot of money if he put some short on that stock. And you see it in Eli Lilly. And of course, you see it in politics. Just to mention the last election in Romania, where an unknown person suddenly in the morning of the election got almost 23%. And the Supreme Court, the Romanian Supreme Court, had to cancel this election and run it again. And this is going over and over. And lately, there were a series of papers, one of them in Nature, another in Science, and also in American Scientific, that say that AI chatbots are shockingly good in political persuasion. And they found that, of course, they took these chatbots with a mechanism that reward them if they can flip people ideas, and we'll hear more about it when Professor Kobayashi will tell about the research, if they can flip their political views. And they found that they were extremely efficient. By the way, it's very interesting to show that actually the baseline models that were more accurate were less persuasive. But those models that were trained with reinforcement learning learned that in order to be more persuasive, they need to use a lot of fact. And if they need, they actually tweak those facts, and there are much more hallucination or much more lies if we really measure the way that they try to persuade. So we know it that it happens with politicians, but it seems that also those chatbots learn it very, very quickly. So they are lying, using a lot of facts, and actually getting to influence in a much higher order. This is how it looks. This is a slide from Expose. This is how a sort of a campaign, a viral campaign against the company is happening, where all those blue circles are tweets, and they are surrounded by red dots. The red dots are bots that actually echo and affect both the algorithms and the views, and actually making this spread to be viral. And you see the other narrative on the other side is actually by real people that are presented by those green dots. So this is how it looks in real life, or when you actually uncover things. And this is another example I used before because it's quite interesting. This was a missile that was actually falling in a hospital in Gaza, and it was proven that it was a missile from, I think it was the Jihad. Actually, the IDF published sort of a conversation between Jihad, two Jihad soldiers, actives that activates that said that it was a missile that they missed. But at the other end, you see that the false accusation that Israel actually fired it was actually supported by a massive amount of bots and inauthentic users. So it's all around us and affect us in every way, and will actually continue to affect us as generative AI is taking higher stand and stronger. And today we will try to deal with this challenge with various aspects. We have an academic research set of speakers that will talk about fake news and disinformation, trust, influence, and of course AI. We have an industry startup with a bunch of companies that I will later represent and introduce. We have, after the networking branch, we have a national security panel that will discuss those challenges in the digital age. We will talk about use of disinformation in narratives, in warfare, with leading figures also related to military. And finally, we will close it with a keynote by Dan Ariely that will talk about the psychology that makes us susceptible to cyber attacks and misinformation, because after all, we are the real targets, we are the real product of all these efforts. So thank you very much for coming, and I wish you a very good conference in this half day. Okay, so thank you. So I'd like to invite our first keynote speaker, Professor Tetsuro Kobayashi. He's a professor in the School of Political Science and Economics in Waseda University that came yesterday from Japan, and we are very happy to invite you. Professor Kobayashi will talk about the academic approaches to understanding this information. Thank you very much.